It's time. I have been waiting to film this video for a hot minute. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jules and I am here with a big book haul. Not just books, and Advent haul. I have been buying all the books and all the Advent calendars. Okay. It is overcast and gloomy here, so I had to add some extra lighting. So you're gonna have to deal with the lights on my glasses. I try to avoid that. I try to film when it is like bright and sunny and midday and whatever, but alas, it is not. Anyway, so next year I will be doing the 12 and 12 in 2026. So I'm gonna be reading 12 books recommended by 12 friends. And that is what I'm gonna bring to you today, and also some other books that I bought as well. But you guys, there's only one thriller book in this list and one true crime-ish book. The rest, I'm not nervous, but I'm kind of nervous. Anyway, these are in no particular order. Let me get my notebook out so I can tell me who recommended what. I'm just going to tell you what the book is and who recommended it. If they have a channel, I will link that channel in the description below, or if they have an Instagram, I will link that. I think everybody, for the most part, either has a channel or has an Instagram. Yes, as far as I know. Okay, let's get into it. My first book rec is from Gwen. Her channel is Gwendolyn Kinzinger. She recommended My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I have not read from this author, but I am going to be reading Beartown in December with her Patreon. I don't know what a lot of these books are about, honestly. They told me what the rec was. I went and I found it. Most of these I found on Pango, so I had a bunch of credit on Pango. Y'all, I'm gonna do my best to read these, and hopefully I can see all of these. So if I be looking all bug-eyed while I'm reading, that's why. So it says, the world is full of miracles, but none greater than how far a young person can be carried by someone else's belief in them. Most people don't even notice them. 3 tiny figures sitting at the end of a long pier in the corner of one of the most famous paintings in the world. Most people think it's a depiction of a wide, expansive sea. But Louisa, soon to be 18 years old and an aspiring artist herself, knows otherwise. She's determined to find out the story behind these 3 enigmatic figures. More than 2 decades before, in a distant seaside town, a group of teenagers find refuge from their bruising home lives by spending long summer days on an abandoned pier, telling silly jokes, sharing secrets, and committing small acts of rebellion. These lost souls find in each other a reason to get up every morning, a reason to dream, a reason to love. Out of that summer emerges a transcendent work of art, a painting that, after a chance encounter in an alleyway, will unexpectedly be placed in Louisa's care. She embarks on a surprise-filled cross-country journey to discover how the painting came to be and to decide what to do with it. The closer she gets to the painting's birthplace, the more anxious she becomes about what she'll find. Louisa's complicated life is proof that happy endings are sometimes possible, but they don't always take the form we expect them to. Interesting. Okay, so not my typical book I would pick up, but I mean, it does sound good. Rec 2 is from Wendy at Wendy's Inspired Reads, and she is recommending The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. This one says, when Carly Sears, a young woman widowed by the Vietnam War, receives the news that her unborn baby girl has a heart defect, she is devastated. It is 1970 and she is told that nothing can be done to help her child, but her brother-in-law, a physicist with a mysterious past, tells her that perhaps there is a way to save her baby. What he suggests is something that will shatter every preconceived notion that Carly has. Something that will require a kind of strength and courage she never knew existed. Something that will mean an unimaginable leap of faith on Carly's part. And all for the love of her unborn child. Again, not in my wheelhouse, but it should be interesting. Okay, I'm a little nervous about this next one. This rec comes from Tammy. She does not have a YouTube, but she has an Instagram, and it's Reads with Jacks, because she has Jack Russell Terriers that are super adorable. Her rec is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did at least find this cover because I hate the other cover, that gold one with the face on it. I can't stand it, and I think that's probably why I haven't bought it. Fun fact about me: I do not like books with pictures of people on them. I have only read 2 books by this author. I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I did enjoy that one. And then I read Malibu Rising, and I really did like that one. I guess I just never picked this one up because I didn't really like the sports theme of it, I guess, because I'm not really a big sportsy person. Anyway, we'll see. This has tiny print, y'all. I'm gonna do my best. Carrie Soto is fierce, and her determination to win at any cost has not made her popular. But by the time she retires from tennis, she is the best player the world has ever seen. She has shattered every record and claimed 20 slam titles. And if you ask Carrie, she is entitled to every one. She sacrificed nearly everything to become the best, with her father as her coach. Javier, a former champion himself, has trained her since the age of 2. But 6 years after retirement, Carrie finds herself sitting in the stands of the 1994 U.S. Open, watching her record being taken from her by a brutal, stunning British player named Nikki Chan. At 37 years old, Carrie makes the monumental decision to come out of retirement and be coached by her father for one last year in an attempt to reclaim her record. Even if the sports media say that they never liked the battle axe anyway. Even if her body doesn't move as fast as it did, and even if it means swallowing her pride to train with a man she once almost opened her heart to, Bo Huntley. Like her, he has something to prove before he gives up the game forever. Y'all, I don't know. This one, I kind of feel like this one scared me the most. I'm looking at my list going, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Next up, from Jess. Her channel is Reading with Jess. She recommended, oh, there is another thriller on here. Okay, hers is a thriller. Okay. Of course she recommended a thriller. I should have known. She recommended For Better and Worse by Margot Hunt. Oh, Lord, that's hard to see. Okay. On their first date back in law school, Natalie and Will Clark bonded over drinks, dinner, and whether they could get away with murder. Oh, interesting. Now married, they'll put the latter to the test when an unchecked danger in their community places their son in jeopardy. Working as a criminal defense attorney, Natalie refuses to rely on the broken legal system to keep her family safe. She knows that if you want justice, you have to get it yourself. Shocked to discover that Natalie's taken matters into her own hands, Will has no choice but to dirty his also. His family is in way too deep to back down now. He's just not sure he recognizes the woman he married. Natalie's always been fiercely protective, but never this ruthless or calculating. With the police poking holes in their airtight plan, what will be the first to fall apart? Their scandalous secret or their marriage? Okay. I see you, Jess, giving the good rec. Okay, I'm probably gonna enjoy that. My next rec is from April. She does not have a YouTube channel. Her Instagram, though, is April's Always Reading. And she recommended Shield of Sparrows. Y'all, what? So I am in love with this book. This cover. Y'all, I was looking on Pango, so I did not get this on Pango. I did look on Pango for this book, and everybody was selling their just plain white edged books for like $20 to $25. And I was like, let me see if I can find this anywhere else. Which I think that was the same price around Amazon or whatever. So I checked Target because in my mind, I have had my eye on this book for a while, but I've just never picked it up. So I looked on Target. And it was only like 20 bucks. So I was like, yes, I'm getting it. So I did. There's a couple other books in my other stack of books that also came from Target that I had to get when I bought this book. So this one says, if you're not, oh, there's like glare with the gold, the shimmer of the case. Okay, let's see if I can put it up. Okay. If you're not terrified, you're doing it wrong. The gods sent monsters to the 5 kingdoms to remind mortals they must kneel. I've spent my life kneeling to their will and to my father's. As a princess, my only duty is to wear the crown and obey the king. I was never meant to rule, never meant to fight, and I was never supposed to be the daughter who sealed an ancient treaty with her own blood. But that changed the fateful day I stepped into my father's throne room, the day a legendary monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince ruined my life. Now I'm crossing treacherous lands beside a warrior who despises me as much as I despise him, bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not, a queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refused the role chosen for me? What if I made my own rules? What if there's power in being underestimated? And what if, for the first time, I reached for it? Fantasy, which I do love. I do love a good romantasy. So I'm trusting her that this is good. My next rec is for my friend Corinna. She also does not have a YouTube. Her Instagram is books to read, cards to make. And she recommended The Secret Life of C.C. Wilkes by Diane Chamberlain. So I have 2 Diane Chamberlains on my list to read next year. This one says, in 1977, pregnant Genevieve Russell disappeared. 20 years later, her remains are discovered and Timothy Gleason is charged with murder, but there's no sign of the unborn child. C.C. Wilkes knows how Genevieve Russell died because she was there, and she also knows what happened to the missing infant because 2 decades ago, she made the devastating choice to raise the baby as her own. Now, Timothy Gleason is facing the death penalty, and she has another choice to make. Tell the truth and destroy her family, or let an innocent man die in order to protect a lifetime of lies. Okay, Corinna. Yeah, that sounds good. My next rec is from Brandon. He does not have a YouTube. His Instagram is Brand the Reader. And he recommended Renegades by Marissa Meyer. The Renegades are a syndicate of prodigies, humans with extraordinary abilities who emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society and established peace and order where chaos reigned. As champions of justice, they remain a symbol of hope and courage to everyone, except the villains they once overthrew. Nova has a reason to hate the Renegades, and she is on a mission for vengeance. As she gets closer to her target, she meets Adrian, a renegade boy who believes in justice and in Nova. But Nova's allegiance is to a villain who has the power to end them both. So this is labeled as a fantasy, sci-fi, dystopian, which I'm a little nervous about, but it also has like superhero vibes. So, and I do be loving some superheroes. So hopefully it's good. My next 2 recs are from Ben and Laura. They are a husband and wife duo. Their channel is Youngs and the Restless. Definitely go check them out. They have a new channel. They're growing. Yeah, super fun. Lauren's book rec for me is Kill Show. It is a true crime novel by Daniel Swearin Becker. It does not look very long at all. This one says, Sarah Parcell vanished without a trace on a crisp April morning in Frederick, Maryland. Her tragic story became the centerpiece of a controversial television docuseries that followed her disappearance in real time. But is it possible that everyone missed the biggest secret of all? 10 years after these events, the people who knew Sarah best are finally ready to talk. In this genre-bending novel, Daniel Swearin Becker fashions an oral history around the seemingly familiar crime of a teenage girl gone missing. Yet Kill Show, filled with diabolical twists and provocative social commentary, is no standard mystery. Through interviews with family members, neighbors, law enforcement, television executives, and a host of other compelling characters, Swearin Becker constructs a riveting tale about one family's tragedy and Hollywood's insatiable desire to exploit it. By revealing the seedy underbelly of the true crime entertainment machine, Kill Show probes literary territory beyond the bounds of the standard whodunit. It's a thoughtful exploration into America's appetite for the mysteries, cold cases, and violent tales we turn to for comfort. Groundbreaking, fast-moving, and informed, this is a novel about who's responsible for the dark stories we love to consume. I do be liking to consume some dark stories. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely more of a interview type format. So that should be interesting. I'm excited for it. And then Ben's rec, I was very excited when I saw his rec for this, is Misery by Stephen King. Y'all look at this cover. I have been wanting to get some of these new old school retro covers. And I've also been wanting to reread some Stephen King. I used to read Stephen King when I was like a young adult, okay? I read a ton of Stephen King and Dean Koontz. Those were my guys. I read their books all the time. For those of you that don't read horror and thriller or know what this is about, I will read this for you. Best-selling novelist Paul Sheldon thinks he's finally free of Misery Chastain. In a controversial career move, he's just killed off the popular protagonist of his beloved romance series in favor of expanding his creative horizons. But such change doesn't come without consequences. After a near-fatal car accident in rural Colorado leaves his body broken, Paul finds himself at the mercy of the terrifying rescuer who's nursing him back to health, his self-proclaimed #1 fan, Annie Wilkes. Annie is very upset over what Paul did to Misery and demands that he find a way to bring her back by writing a new novel, his best yet, and one that's exclusively for her. It's clear that Paul has all the time in the world to do so as a prisoner in her isolated house, and Annie has some very persuasive and violent methods to get exactly what she wants. Y'all, I love this movie, so I have been wanting to reread this, so this is the perfect opportunity to do so, and I cannot wait. Okay, I got 3 books left for my 12 and 12. My next rec is from Laura. Her YouTube channel is Laura Reads, although I don't believe she's really doing any content anymore or vlogging or anything like that. At least she hasn't for several months, but she does have an Instagram, so I will put both of them down there. She recommended Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. This cover, y'all. A heartwarming novel where 2 old friends reunite under the strangest of circumstances. Lillian and Madison haven't spoken since they were inseparable roommates at boarding school, but now, more than 10 years later, Madison needs Lillian's help in raising her twin stepkids. The catch is that the twins spontaneously combust when they get agitated, their skin igniting with beautiful, startling flames. Lillian accepts the job, and over one humid, demanding summer, everything she thought she knew about love, family, and empathy is turned completely and irreversibly upside down. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I trust her, though. I trust her. It says, a peculiar, entertaining, and insightful book about the hazards of child rearing and the value of friends. I'm going to give it a go. My next rec is from my friend Melissa. She does not have a YouTube, but she has an Instagram, and it's Miss Mel02, I believe. And her recommendation is Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. This cover is so pretty, you guys. This one says, oh, that's small. That's small. The Waverleys have always been a curious family endowed with peculiar gifts that make them outsiders in their hometown of Bascom, North Carolina. Even their garden has a reputation, for the Waverly history is in the soil, and so are their futures. A successful caterer, Claire Waverly, prepares dishes made with her mystical plants. From the nasturtiums, I don't know if I'm saying that right, that aid in keeping secrets, to the snapdragons intended to discourage the attentions of her amorous neighbor. Meanwhile, her elderly cousin, Avenel, distributes unexpected presents whose uses become uncannily clear. They are the last of the Waverleys, except for Claire's rebellious sister, Sydney, who fled Bascom the moment she could, abandoning Claire as their own mother had years before. When Sydney suddenly returns home with a young daughter of her own, Claire's quiet life is turned upside down. Together again in the house they grew up in, Sydney takes stock of all she left behind and Claire's struggles to heal the wounds of the past. Soon the sisters realize they must deal with their common legacy if they are ever to feel at home in Bascom or with each other. Okay, interesting. And my last 12 and 12 rec is by Faith. She does not have a YouTube channel, but she does have an Instagram, Faith Rebecca 89. She also has a plant one. I don't know what that one is, but she sells plants, which is very cool, but I'll link them both. Her recommendation is Adelaide by Genevieve Wheeler. This one says, for 26-year-old Adelaide Williams, an American living in dreamy London, meeting Rory Hughes was like a lightning bolt out of the blue. This charming Englishman was the one she wasn't even looking for. Does he respond to text, honor his commitments, make advanced plans? Sometimes, rarely, and no, not at all. But when he shines his light on her, the world makes sense, and Adelaide is convinced that in his heart, he's fallen just as deeply as she has. Then, when Rory is rocked by an unexpected tragedy, Adelaide does everything in her power to hold him together, even if it means losing herself in the process. When love asks too much of us, how do we find the strength to put ourselves first? It's a love story. Which I don't read a lot of romance, y'all know, but hopefully it's good. Y'all, I trust all these. I trust my friends, and I do like to read outside of my comfort zone. Not all the time, but I do. So my plan is going to be to vlog reading all of these books. So they may be I may have them for a while, but whenever I read a book on my 12 and 12, I will add it to the vlog and just keep it on the back burner until I'll probably do a part 1 and 2. So like the first 6, and then I'll post it, and then the next one. So cross your fingers that I get through all these books next year. Okay, now let's move on to the other books I bought, and then we're going to move on to the advent calendars. Okay, I have 6 books that I got from the book outlet when they did their like $5.99 sale or whatever it was. So the first 2 I picked up, more of the retro covers. I got Cujo and Pet Sematary. I'm not gonna tell what these are about. I mean, by now, if you know Stephen King, you know what these books are about. Again, I've been wanting to read some of the popular books that I read when I was younger, and these 2, I mean, these covers, they're just stunning. The next 2 I picked up, they are YA thrillers. They are very short. I have not read from this author, so I'm going to do an author taste test. So I have The Midnight Game and Signed, Sealed, Dead by Cynthia Murphy. So The Midnight Game says, when a group of 6 strangers who have only ever spoken on a creepy Deadit thread decide to meet in real life, they have one plan in mind. They are going to play the Midnight Game and summon the Midnight Man. But once you start the game, you must finish it. There's no other way out. Everyone is dying to play. I mean, it just sounds like a fun slasher-ish. And then Signed, Sealed, Dead says, when true crime obsessed Paige moves to her father's eerie childhood home, it's not long before she uncovers the town's dark history, a string of unsolved murders and disappearances in the 90s. Soon after, notes start appearing in their mailbox about the secrets the old house is keeping. Paige can't stop herself from following the clues. But will they help her solve a quarter-of-a-century-old mystery, or will Paige be the next target? Moving can be murder. Anyway, yeah, we're going to do an author taste test with these. And this one was kind of a cover buy, but also like it sounded good. So I was like, okay. And that is Mind Games by Nora Roberts. I mean, look at this cover. So good. I'm not sure I've read anything by Nora Roberts, honestly. This one says, Thea Fox is getting the life she always wanted. She's become a renowned video game designer, a job that allows her to move back to her childhood home in Redbud Hollow, Kentucky. Now she lives in her own cozy cottage down the road from her beloved Grammy and the house where she grew up. And when her new neighbor turns out to be her teenage crush, the gorgeous lead singer of Code Red, Tyler Brennan, it seems that life can't get any better. However, it hasn't been easy getting here. Thea carries the burden of a special ability, one that she shares with her Grammy. They can both see into people's minds and souls. Sometimes they can see the future. Grammy calls it a gift, but ever since the day when Thea saw her parents get murdered in a dream, it felt like a curse. Thanks to her vision, the police caught the man who did it and put him behind bars. But no matter how far away the killer is, Thea can still hear his twisted thoughts and witness his evil acts. He knows it because he can see into her mind too, and now he's made it his mission to get the ultimate revenge. Like, what? Yeah, this sounds so good. Yeah, I just randomly was like, ooh, that's pretty. What's that about? And then I read it and was like, okay. It says she can see inside the killer's mind and he can see what lurks in hers. Yeah, I can't wait to get to this one. And then the last book I got on that haul is a Christmas book. It's called Christmas Angels by Nancy Nagel. Oh, y'all, that's tiny writing. Okay, let's see if I can see it. Growing up, Liz dreamed of taking over her grandparents' inn located in the small mountain town of Antler Creek, only for it to be sold before she ever got the chance. While browsing the internet, she stumbles upon a listing for what looks to be the picturesque inn, and it's set to go to auction. Lid places a bid and, by a miracle, wins the auction. But when she gets there, she finds the property in significant disrepair. When Matt Hardy narrowly lost the inn and property that abutted his land, he just hoped it wasn't another city slicker coming to make matters worse after the previous owners gutted the place for an art gallery. But the minute he recognizes the sweet freckle-faced girl from his childhood and heard her plans to reopen the inn, he jumped at the chance to help his childhood crush restore a place where he'd made so many fond memories. While working on repairs, Liz and Matt discover her grandmother's collection of angels in one of the cabins. When the angels start mysteriously showing up all over the inn, she begins to look at them as reassurance that restoring the inn is what she's meant to do. But when an accident leaves Liz feeling like she made a mistake, will Matt and the residents of Antler Creek be able to show Liz that she's found a home and possibly true love as well? It just sounded so sweet with the angels and yeah, anyway, I'm excited to get to this one. I almost forgot I had this. I got to add this to my TBR. Good thing I didn't record my TBR before I recorded this. I would have been like, oh, I need to put that on my list. So that is all I got from the book outlet. A couple books I picked up when I was shopping on Pango. I just grabbed some books that I saw. Like if I bought a book from somebody, I would look in their store and see what else they had if there was anything that I wanted. So I picked up a couple of things. I picked up These Silent Woods by Kimmy Cunningham Grant. Heard several of my friends have loved this, so I wanted to pick it up. This is a really tiny. Why are these synopses on the back so tiny? Y'all. No electricity, no family, no connection to the outside world. For 8 years, Cooper and his young daughter Finch have lived in isolation in a remote cabin in the northern Appalachian woods. And that's exactly the way Cooper wants it, because he's got a lot to hide. Finch has been raised on the books, filling the cabin's shelves and the beautiful and brutal code of the life in the wilderness. But she's starting to push against the sheltered life Cooper has created for her, and he's still haunted by the painful truth of what it took to get them there. The only people who know they exist are a mysterious local hermit and Cooper's old friend Jake, who visits each winter to bring them supplies. But this year, Jake doesn't show up, revealing just how precarious their situation really is. And when a stranger wanders into the woods, Finch's growing obsession with her could put them all in danger. After a shocking disappearance threatens to upend the only life Finch has ever known, Cooper must decide whether to keep hiding or finally face the sins of his past. I've heard good things, all good things, so I picked it up. And then I finally picked up The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I have had my eye on this for forever. It's been on my list. Every year, the people of the Proctorate leave a baby as an offering to the witch who lives in the forest to keep her from terrorizing their town. But the witch, Zan, is really kind and gentle. She shares her home with a wise swamp monster and a perfectly tiny dragon. Zan rescues the children and delivers them to welcoming families on the other side of the forest. One year, Zan accidentally feeds a baby Moonlight, filling the ordinary child with extraordinary magic. Zan decides she must raise this girl, whom she calls Luna, as her own. As Luna's 13th birthday approaches, her magic begins to emerge with unpredictable consequences just when it's time for Zan to go collect another child. Meanwhile, a young man is determined to free his people by killing the witch, and a volcano dormant for centuries rumbles within the earth. It sounds really good. And I need to get to it. I need to get to this next year because I've been wanting to read this forever. When I got the pretty sprayed-edged Shielded Sparrows from Target, I picked up a couple other sprayed-edged books. I ended up getting 9-Month Contract by Amy Dawes. Look at those edges. Just look at, would you look at it? I'm a sucker for sprayed edges. This says, Help Wanted. Grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama. Job is an incubator position only. Surrogate must be impervious to grunting as the form of communication and nosy brotherly neighbors. Rustic mountain range housing available upon request. I wanted to pummel my irritating brother when they posted their own version of a wanted ad to help me with my life. But I can't fault the results once the right woman lands in my lap. Becoming a single father is not a decision I made lately. In fact, it's the biggest decision of my entire life. Which is why when I interviewed Trista, I know she's perfect. She's wild, she's opinionated, she wears cowboy boots, even my pet goat loves her. She's the exact type of person I was holding out for. And to my great honor, I realized on our first night of attempting this baby-making dance, when the lights are low, the cheap wine is flowing, and the home insemination supplies are laid out on the kitchen counter, I want to do a lot more than just make her my surrogate. I want to make her mine. It just sounds so cute. I feel like it's going to be like a little, and look, she's a curvy girl. Cute. I feel like it's going to be like a spicy funny. I'm hoping. And then, oh my gosh, I have to add this to my list too. I just realized there's another Christmas book. Adding that to my TBR. And then I picked up He Sees You When You're Sleeping by Alta Hensley. Christmas slasher. Yes. Yes, please. Oh Lord, that is so again, look, y'all can't even look how tiny that is. Popular jewelry influencer Chloe Hallman is steeling herself to spend another holiday on her own. Instead, she finds herself drawn to two different guys. A smoldering hot fan of her secret, seductive online persona, and a sexy fireman named Jack who looks out for her in the New York City neighborhood. Is this a thriller or is this a spicy romance? Anyway, she has no idea that I know her better than she knows herself. Her deepest secrets, her darkest desires. She's careful, but I've been watching, never leaving footprints in the snow outside her home. Oh, this is a stalker. Jack was the first responder to the accident that stole a beautiful young woman's family 2 Christmases ago, and he's been quietly guarding her ever since. Oh, okay. When Jack uncovers Chloe's secret account, his obsession only grows. Both he and Chloe are drawn to the darkness that mirrors their own. She's my Christmas wish come true, and I'm hers. She just doesn't know it yet. Oh, Lord, it's another lights out. Content warning, this book contains some dark elements. Stalking, non-consensual snow shoveling, possessive love, forced Christmas joy. Proceed with caution. So it's a spicy romance. Okay, so it's a spicy Christmas romance. We're going to add this to the other spicy Christmas romances I'm reading this year. Okay, I got 3 more to show you, and then we'll move on to the Advent calendars. Actually, 2 of my advent calendars are books, so we'll do those ones first. But the aardvark book that I picked for November is Haven't Killed in Years by Amy Green. Marion Haggerty, the daughter of a notorious serial killer, was only a child when they arrested her father. Ripped from her home and given a new identity, Marion disappeared. 20 years later, Gwen Tanner keeps everyone at a distance, preferring to satirize the world around her than participate in it. It's for her safety and theirs, but when someone starts sending body parts to her front door, the message is clear: I know who you are. To preserve her secrets, Gwen must hunt down the killer, a journey that immerses her into a twisted world of true crime fandom and makes her confront her past once and for all. Maybe she is capable of deep human connections, but she's not the only one keeping secrets. Will opening herself up to others help her find the killer or remind her why it is necessary to hide her real self in the first place? The apple never falls too far after all. This one sounds good. And then a couple of Amazon books that I just bought because I wanted them when they were on sale. I picked up this book, Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. This was $4. It was on sale on Amazon for $3.99. And my friend Gwen read this and she loved it. So I was like, okay. I was like, we're going to get this. This one says, after the unexpected death of her father, college student Jane Sharp longs for a distraction from her grief. She becomes obsessed with the morbid world of true crime. I've been getting a lot of books about true crime lately. Maybe that's just like the trend right now. Like the author writing trend is to write books about serial killer families and true crime. Anyway. She becomes obsessed with the morbid world of true crime, befriending armchair detectives who teach her how to hunt killers from afar. In this dark internet underground, Jane finds friendship, purpose, and even glory. So when the shocking deaths of 3 college girls in Delphine, Idaho capture her world's imagination, Jane and her friends are determined to beat everyone racing to solve the case. But the murders turn out to be stranger than anyone expected. Details don't add up, the police are cagey, and there seems to be more media hype and internet theorizing than actual evidence. When Jane and her sleuths get closer, every answer only begs new questions. They begin to suspect their killer may be smarter and more prolific than any they've faced before. Placing themselves in the center of the story starts to feel more and more like walking into a trap. Told 1 year after the astounding events that conclude the case and left the world reeling, Jane's searing confession of what really happened during the Delphine massacres, including details that change everything the world thinks it knows, will either save her from being misjudged by history or be her final undoing. Yeah. So up at the top it says, the truth will set her free, and it has it crossed out, bury her. Interesting. So this book will bury me. I got you. Okay, that makes sense. I'm excited to read that one too. And then the other book I got is just, it's a nonfiction. It's Good Energy, The Surprising Connection Between Metabolism and Limitless Health by Casey Means, MD. It has just been on my list for a while, and I just kind of want to, this is obviously something that I'll read like over a while, you know what I mean, here and there, a little bit at a time, highlight all the things, reference it back. After losing my mom, I just like had a shift of like, what things can I do to like prolong illnesses and disease and stay as healthy as possible. And a lot of that is just like finding your brain and body connection, everything, the energy of your cells and the rejuvenating of your body. And so I'm just trying to focus on that. And so, yeah, I thought this would be a good book to help me with that. Okay, now for the advent calendars. I love advent calendars. I would probably have more. I need to stop though. I have enough. So the first 2 I got are actually books. So I'm going to be reading an Advent romance book with Gwen. We're going to buddy read it each day and talk about it. It's called Heart for Christmas. And each day is like a present. It's wrapped. So you have to like rip open the side of it to read the day and continue in the story. So this one says, April is headed to the foothills of Mont Blanc in the Alps to spend Christmas at her father's chalet for the first time in 3 years. Ever since her heart operation, she lived as carefully as possible, but it's time for a change. All April wants for the holidays is to take back her life. But how do you find the courage to live after being so afraid for so long? When April runs into her best friend's older brother, Augustine, ski instructor extraordinaire, it feels like a sign. Augustine is daring and swoon-worthy, and April doesn't want to let her life pass her by any longer. It's as complicated as it gets, but this might be just the kind of Christmas miracle she needs. It sounds super cute. I'm excited for it. And then I picked up this one. This was a last minute one I just grabbed when I was looking at advent calendars on Amazon. It's an Advent devotional. It's unwrapping the names of Jesus. It's so cute. It's very pretty. This says, what if you could spend the Christmas season delighting in your Savior instead of trying to create a picture-perfect holiday? We believe that Christmas is all about the birth of Christ, yet we're often more focused on finishing our holiday to-do list than celebrating the greatest gift of all. The author invites you to prepare your heart so you can worship Jesus as never before. Each daily reflection will lead you to meditate on a different name of Jesus from the scripture. And then it gives you the list of who it is. So each week has a little like preview section of like what to expect for that week. And then you have a reading for each day. Yeah, and I'm just very excited to read it. Okay, here are my other ones. The first one I got, which I got for the first time last year, loved it, had a great time with it. I got a puzzle advent calendar. This is what it looks like. Can you see it? I got a little cute Santa. So inside of it, I haven't even opened it. You get a big poster. And like, this is like the size of them. They're ginormous, okay? It's big. And last year I did one and I ended up gluing it and framed it, and it's going on my wall for Christmas, for celebration. And then here's the boxes. So you just pull out the little box and you work it, and you work it in the order it says. So 1 through 6, and then you go down here. So you'll do the puzzle as you go along. Anyway, I had a fantastic time doing it last year. So I was like, yep, I got to do it again. So that is my puzzle one. And then I got a few from Aldi's. So I have a chocolate one. It is a Winter Wonderland Chocolate Advent. All of these little peoples are the chocolates in there. And it has it where you can like set this up as like a scene. Oh, y'all, it's stabbing It's stabbing It has it to where you can set it up like a scene. I'm not going to do all that. But here's the chocolates. Oh, let me get this over here. And then I also got this one from Aldi. This is a tea advent calendar. There is 48 bags, so 2 for each day. And I didn't think I would drink it all, but I've been drinking tea every day. So anyway, let's see what it looks like on the inside. And all the little, they're all numbered. And then I got this. This one's really heavy, y'all. It's really heavy. This is a candle advent calendar. Isn't that so pretty? It's very heavy. And I would just like to tell y'all that I reorganized these numbers because they were all out of order. It was driving me and my husband and my daughter crazy. So here they are. Like and I know it's supposed to be, y'all, this is so heavy. I gotta put it down for a second. I know that they're supposed to be like all over the place or whatever, but like for this one, it was just annoying us. So anyway, so each day has a votive candle in it. I'm just gonna pull this one and show you what they look like. This one is toasted marshmallow. Oh, that smells nice. Anyway, I don't know if I'm going to get through all these every day. I'm going to try and burn one every day. We'll see. As long as it smells good. If it don't smell good, I ain't going to like. But anyway, there's that one. Then my last one that I just got, it's the Mini Brands books. So there are 24. This one is a mix of the Series 1 and Series 2. So I know there's going to be some in here that I don't have, but I'm afraid I'm going to have some duplicates of ones that I got in the actual balls. I love these little books. If anyone else collects these and you have duplicates, hit me up and we can maybe exchange, because I still have, I think I have them right here. Oh yeah. Here's all my little duplicates that I got. I have, my duplicates I have are Hollow City. Oh y'all, I can't even read that. What does that say? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Oh, I just dropped one. Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy. I have 2 of the Goosebumps Deep Trouble. And I have It Starts With Us. So if you collect these little Mini Brains books and you have duplicates, let me know. And maybe we can check and see if I have some. We can do a trade. Or I can just send you these because I'm not doing anything with these. Okay, you guys, that is it for my ginormous book haul and advent haul. So let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're planning on reading any of these books, if you have any advent calendars, if you're going to get any advent calendars. Do you like advent calendars? Some people may be like, nah, that's stupid. And that's totally fine. You do you. But I love them. So that is it for this video. Make sure to like this video, subscribe if you are not already. And until my next video, friends, be yourself, be awesome, be kind. Bye.